Russ here, Bydown Pilot. I hope this finds you very well. Been a long time since my last video and a lot has happened, most of it good in fact. So, helicopter flying. I started, I think, got a few videos, in fact maybe even a few shots and only one video up online to do with helicopter flying, and it was post early lesson. Maybe I got a couple in, I'm not sure. As of last Monday, I went solo, which was awesome. When I was younger, there was a series on television in the UK about training to be a military helicopter pilot in the UK. And you were washed from the course, you were cut from the course if you took more than 11 hours to go solo. I think there were exceptions if you had an hour or so extra training and then nailed it, but generally 11 hours was the cut-off. So my personal target was to beat 11 hours. There's a restriction at the club, at the school I'm learning to fly at, that says you're not allowed to go solo less than 18 to 20 hours. And I'm actually really pleased that restriction exists, because I wouldn't have enjoyed my solo experience or had the confidence during my first solo that I had if I didn't have more hours. I did ask my instructor to let me know along the course when he thought he would send me solo, when he thought I was safe enough to get around the circuit and back in without causing myself any mischief or ruining the aircraft. And at hour 8.3 we went in for the post-flight briefing and he said, I'd send you solo today. That was good enough for a solo. So I was ecstatic because I've beaten that 11-hour record, but I didn't actually fly the solo. As I say, I'm pleased I didn't, because I went on to fly solo last Monday, today being Wednesday, and I really enjoyed it. And instead of just doing the solo circuit, come back in, done, I went off, I think I did 3 circuits, a bit of hovering, a bit of positioning on the south side of the airfield, for some longer, sort of faster, advanced transitions and things. So it was really exciting. Actually, I really enjoyed it. Today I'm going to do a bit more solo flying, and practice some transitions and some manoeuvring and positioning on the south side. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be really good. The beauty of now being solo is I've got myself a mount for my phone, which I do all my vlogs on, which is connected at the moment. And I've got a GoPro connector, and in the roof of the cockpit in the aircraft there's a GoPro adapter, so hopefully I'm going to be able to put my phone up on the roof of the cockpit and get some footage of the flight today, and take you along on some future flights, some future solo trips cross countries and visits to other airfields and things. And I'm really looking forward to doing so. The Learjet has kept me busy. Took it to the States recently, which is a long way for a Learjet actually. It was more like a ferry flight. For someone like me that's used to going kind of straight across the pond from the UK, from Europe to the US. However, it was very enjoyable. I enjoyed the multiple stops, kept us busy, kept us on our toes. Did a bit of flying around the US and then came back just over a week long. And I've got another trip coming up in that aircraft to do that, so I will probably get some footage along the way and take you with me. Until then, enjoy the rest of the video. Make sure you comment, subscribe, like and all that sort of good stuff. I'm sure I'll speak to you after this.
So just lifting into the hopper here, and I'm going to practice my box turns. There's an old concrete patch here on the south side at Cabri, and I think it's part of the old World War II remains. There was probably a building on it, it was part of dispersal or something. So I'm just flying sideways on one side of the box, then I fly sideways again across the same side. Pedal turn at the end to the left, and then current trace around, another pedal turn to the left, and then back along the opposite side. it's all just for practice. So here's that pedal turn to the left. So I've got a crosswind from the left at the moment, only a few knots, probably 5 knots or something there, maybe less. I look at the little socket, sort of between 3 and 5 knots and calm, so it's a very steady. So no excuses for my wobbly flying. So just tracing along this side of the box, and then again, this is sort of mostly interwind. There'll be another pedal turn to the left before I trace on the other side of the box. The outside temperature during this was about 25-26 degrees, so I had to keep a careful eye on the engine temperature and pressure. It's in the hover, obviously the oil and the cylinder temperature are getting up quite high, so occasionally with all this practice, just good to fly a circuit. So whilst I was practicing manoeuvring on the south side, I was aware of a working party. You can see the van just crossing across the top of the picture there on an old taxiway. They were over there doing various things. They were working on both quadrants on the south side, so I've been asked to keep an eye out for them. They told me to remain on the east side of the southern side of the airfield for my manoeuvring. Again, the working party decided to go transit through this part. So what I did, I was trying to keep an eye on them as well as practice my hovering, which is something I think is good airmanship that everybody's into. By this time, I had quite high temperature and pressure, so I spun all the way around here just to watch this lot leave. Then I decided to position further to the west side on this quadrant of the airfield. I did this sideways to watch one of the departing aircraft, and then with that in mind, I'd give myself some space as well to go and fly a circuit. So you can just see that aircraft departing there, and that's heading out to the east. And so I carried on going sideways a little while, watched him depart, made sure out to the other side of me that the working party was sort of clearing the taxiway, spun into wind, I gave myself a bit more space, and then decided to transition into the circuit. So just got an effective translational lift there, and we start the climb. You can see the working party clear of the fence where I was climbing up. Using, just accelerating a bit to sort of sit between 55-60 knots. Just me on board, putting about 80% power for a decent way to climb. I don't get too high because I'm trying to make sure I level off accurately at 700 feet. We just clipped the side of this woodland, making sure we could always glide clear if a problem occurred before we turn. Kind of crosswind in the climb and then continue downwind. So that little axe-shaped woodland there. We just turn inside those buildings there. It's good airmanship to avoid overflying buildings like this if you can. Continuing the climb then, accelerating a bit to about 60 knots now as I'm approaching 700 feet. Turn around the outside of those old hangars that are still being used. A bit difficult to pick out, but we're heading towards the crossroads there, and then a kind of old, almost an old scrapyard if you like in the distance. Climbing to around 700 feet, so I'm still climbing at the moment just below 60 knots. And once I've got myself established downwind, make a call to tower, let them know I'm downwind, and then do a flex check, so check the fuel is sufficient. Check all the lights along the warning panel are out extinguished, check the engine temperatures and pressures, make sure everything's within limits, and make sure any yellow or red messages are considered or extinguished at least. Check car beats auto, and I always just do a double check of the my harness and doors to make sure that's closed. As we continue on downwind, accelerating to about 80 knots here. So you can just see what's likely on that field just off the nose there. I'm approaching some small buildings, old cars and things in it. And we turn base leg here. I actually start bringing the speed back and descending about now because I'm fairly close in, which is quite nice to fly fairly tight because the fixed wing circuit guys just vary where they fly the circuit around here for some reason. Sometimes they're inside the helicopters, outside, same height as the helicopters, different heights, and you just never know. Use this old taxiway to line up to the south side and did a quick check here with the controller tower just to say, is the working pilot clear of the south side? So hopefully give myself more space to manoeuvre and play around. I always just check the ball for balance on the way down here. Just watching one eye on my airspeed, but looking for that kind of walking pace in my peripheral vision. And I always do a final temperatures and pressures check on the way in, just to make sure all was normal, in case I have to go around. For you really observant people, you'll probably notice that the power is a long way down here. I basically came in a bit high and a bit fast, but that's what practice is for. I'm aiming to come into the hover just shy of that black box you can see on that disused taxiway next to the old Cabris. So I kind of got it back, but ended up really, kind of dragging it low level towards there. So it wasn't a really good approach, but like I say, that's what it's all about. It's all about practice, and I'm still learning, and happy to admit that. If this had been a fixed wing aircraft, I've not been getting it down where I wanted it, then I'd be complaining myself. But for a helicopter, I was fairly pleased with that. It was okay. A quick clearing turn, good airmanship just to check the area behind you before you carry on moving off again. Just in case something's happening from behind, you never know. So what I decided to do here is just position to the western side of the southern side of the airfield where we can practice some helicopters. So I was just practicing transitions really. So I accelerated into wind, turned across and then downwind with some speed to avoid settling with power. Not that there was much breeze, but just for good practice. And then flew a figure of 8 back round to one of the old dispersal points where I decided to try and trace the outside of it. Semicircular pattern. I promise you that my flight isn't that wobbly. It's the way the camera's mounted in the iPhone and the way the iPhone is mounted at the top of the helicopter. It certainly didn't feel this wobbly when I was in it. So I just picked a spot here, just pointing, it's kind of crosswind, but it's rear quartering actually on the right hand side, which side the wind's, it's only a light breeze, like I say up to sort of 5-6 knots, but it's just to practice that kind of crosswind and almost sort of rear quadrant hovering. Again, it's all for practice. It doesn't look terribly interesting to watch really, but when I was sat there doing it, it felt a lot more challenging, it's a lot more interesting. So you can see a line there, kind of indentation in the grass, and what I was trying to do is just land the skid on my side in that line. And you can see I actually balls this up a bit. So as I was getting down towards it, almost tried to sort of thump it on, and then decided it was going a little bit wrong. So did the right thing, put it back off the ground again, and had another go. So second attempt, and I got it down there, but you can probably tell the last little bit I just dropped it onto the floor just to make the skid hit the mark, really, just getting a bit frustrated. Just one of those things, you have to hover it lower and lower and lower until you're touching the ground, rather than thinking, oh that's it, that's where I want it, and then dropping it down that last little bit. So I got bored with that idea, I decided, and transitioned away. I then went off into the circuit and did some other bits on the other side. So just arriving back from my last circuit, I actually ended up roughly where I wanted to be. I wanted to be between that line and the old compass swing, that big concrete circular patch. So I got about where I wanted to be. And it's about now as I kind of looked at the clock and thought, yep, the time was getting on, nearly an hour done, and transitioned from the south side, crossing the main runway once I had permission, back to the Gulf apron to shut down. So with clearance to cross, just go across the old disused runway past the Cabris. Deliberately bobbing the nose to the left so I could see down the runway, make sure it's all clear. And then you've got to remain to the west of the windsock, of course. Should have crossed the fence at a bit more of an angle than that, just to give yourself some options if the engine would quit. Across the 08 hard, across the 08 grass, through the Gulf 2 gates of the Gulf apron in a hover taxi and shut down. So approaching the Gulf apron, which is where those kind of white painted markers are on the floor there. Lots of people outside the cafe, so try not to muff it up. I am crosswind, but it's only a light breeze. The reason I'm doing that is because I wanted to keep the fence and the entry gates onto airside in plain view, just in case anybody wandered out. My instructor was amongst the people outside the cafe actually, so I thought I'd better do a half decent job of landing and not muff it up too badly. And then of course, as soon as we're on the deck, throttle to idle, silence the horn, switch off the governor, you'll see the blue light appear on the light panel, and then friction onto the collective. Once all the T's and P's are back down within limits, you go mixture off and then all the power off.
So, on the way back now after that, hope you enjoyed it. You won't have enjoyed it as much as I did. But for me, for now, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll do some more stuff. We'll do some cross countries. We'll go to some other airports. I will try and rig up some sound as well, so I can talk to you and talk you through what I'm doing or where we're going or whatever. But until next time, thanks very much for watching. Catch you again soon. Cheers, bye.